I'm gonna readdress this issue or this concept that I've talked about with the toxic kindness, like what is toxic kindness and everything like that. And toxic kindness, when I say that, it's like a calculated kindness. It's not real kindness. It's a manipulative way that people use kindness, and they come out here and they tell everybody to be kind. They don't do it for genuine reasons, and they don't ask you to do genuine kindness. It's like they have you do a fake kindness. And that's why I call it a toxic kindness, because the kindness will do a lot, and these people continuously bringing in any program or doing whatever they want without the people objecting to whatever they're doing. And why is that so important? When you think about the concept of kindness in general, kindness is associated with God, right? You know, God is kind, da 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 da. And for the most part, man, if you're a kind person, oftentimes you'll probably be very well liked, you know, to a large degree. You know, people might have more pleasant interactions with you and things of that nature. So, and you know, to a large degree, you know, in a lot of ways, kindness is praised and it's promoted. Yeah, be kind. You know, even though you have differences between other people, that doesn't mean that you need to be out there and be ruthless, nasty, and mean to people. You know what I mean? You could be kind to people, show people some type of empathy. You know what I mean? Show some people some type of grace. You know. But with all that being said, when I talk about this toxic form of kindness, just like with anything else, I know it's cliche and I always say this, life is truly about balance. When you think about balance in general, there's one sided, there's the left side, there's the right side, good, bad, up, down, left, right. This is a constant motif that needs to be there in some way, shape, or form. And in the end, with everything, there's a spectrum, but with kindness, there's a spectrum with kindness, okay? But what people want you to do nowadays is they don't want you to have genuine kindness. They don't want you to be genuinely kind. What they want you to have is this toxic form of kindness. And what I mean this toxic form of kindness is this type of kindness is, you know, when we talk about kindness, again, there's a good aspect of kindness, but the negative side is also there as well. Oftentimes, most people, they understand this concept that people taking my kindness for weakness. What the world oftentimes will think is kindness is a weakness. They don't see it as a positive. They don't see it as a strength. A lot of the world, and I know it's kind of counterintuitive in the sense I just said that kindness is promoted and people like kind people and things of that nature. But there's a balance to it, because people will look at people and they'll say, oh, this person is too kind or this person is too nice. Because I think they also, nice and kindness is two completely different things, but I think people fuse those two together. And so they'll say, oh, this person is too nice. This person's too this person's too that. And what they, and when people, they've been slighted and they've been kind to somebody and they do not like being slighted or kind, oftentimes they'll use this phrase, people, man, they took my kindness for weakness. They took my kindness for weakness. Now, why would they say that if, again, the world looks at it in a good way, or people want to be around kind people? Well, the reason being is because oftentimes kindness is also seen as a weakness. It's seen as a weakness. It's seen as a strength, and it's seen as a weakness at the same time. And when I say it's seen as a weakness, I'm not saying that it's actually weak. It could be in a sense, but like, I'm not saying it's actually legitimately weak, but that's just how the people of the world see it. The people of the world and how the world works completely opposite of how God works, okay? And so a lot of things that is actually strengths in what God will want, the world oftentimes rejects it, or they do things the very opposite way. The world will see a person that's kind as weak, but they don't see somebody that's ruthless, vindictive, cold-hearted and everything. They think that that person is strong. So a lot of times people, they will follow the strong one, the one that will cut their throat at the moment's notice. You know what I mean? Anytime they get slighted, they'll cut somebody's throat. But a lot of people, they'll respect that one in comparison to that of a kind person. Again, this is not the whole world that would be disrespectful to a kind person. It's not the whole world. But there is a subtle way in our brain, to a most part. And if a lot of people are honest, people, they would think a person that's kind, they'll think that that person is weak. Because oftentimes with a kind person, they might let stuff go in a sense. They might move in such a way where other people of the world, they'll be more defensive. A kind person might not necessarily be doing that. A kind person will give a lot of times. A kind person will, have some type of empathy or whatever the case may be. And so with people of the world, people who don't have God, they don't have a mindset and understanding and valuing the kindness and the strength thereof of it. What a lot of people of the world think is, I'm about to get over these people. People of the world, they take that in an exploitative way, even if they're conscious of it. Everybody does it to a large degree. Even kind people will do it to another person. Like, have you ever had a supervisor or a boss that you had a problem or whatever the case may be, or you came in late and then they was like, oh man, it's all good. It's all good. And in your head, you're like, oh, thank God, thank God. But then somewhere in your psyche, you'll start to look at this person in a certain type of way, or you'll look at the situation in a certain type of way because you take the kindness for weakness in the sense that, oh, if they say, the next day you'll probably do it again, and then the day after that, and then the day after that, you might not necessarily be actually like consciously thinking about this, like, oh, I'm about to go do this, but there's a subconscious way. It's because it's like almost in a way where, oh, this person was kind in a certain way, and they didn't hold me to. They didn't put my feet over the fire. They gave me some type of grace. And so I'm about to take advantage of it. Even if people are not conscious of it, there's a lot of people, very, very exploitative people. They are very much aware of this, and they actively will go out there and they will actively try to exploit somebody that's kind as much as they possibly can. They don't see the value in it. They see it as a weakness because they're thinking at it as, I am using a person's kindness to get what I want up out of them, to take from them, to hurt them, to bully them. That's another thing. People think that if you're a kind person, they can get over on you. They think that you're that you're a pushover in a lot of ways. It's from the fact that, oh, if I say certain things to certain individuals, they'll snap at me this way, but this person's a kind person, so this person won't do that. Oh, this is this person's nature, so I'm going to act one way with them, and then I'm gonna act another way with everybody else. You see what I'm talking about? People in general in the world, to a large degree, even if it's not even their conscious mind, sometimes in their subconscious mind, they will take the kindness as a form of weakness. You understand? They will take and what goes along with the kindness, they take it as a weakness. That's why there's a saying, people take your kindness for weakness. People will take your kindness for weakness. You understand? And why is that all so important? How does that play into the overall idea of toxic kindness, or what I call toxic calculated kindness? The way that it plays into the overall scheme of things, just how this world is turning nowadays, and these people, the elites or whoever the hell is really at the top, and they're bringing in new social reforms and things of that nature. They're using morality as the number one way that they're able to get and push their agendas and push this society in a way that is like, what the hell is going on nowadays? Where there's confusion, all this disorder and disruption and everything like that. That damn devil is tricky. And then his kids are very, very tricky too. Because what they do is they understand that it's easier to catch bees with honey than it is with vinegar. And I don't even know if that's really true, but understand this from this perspective. When I mean it's more easy to catch bees with honey than it is with vinegar, sometimes in order to capture a person or to enslave somebody, first off, you got to make them think that they're not a slave at all. If you want to imprison somebody, make them think that they're not a prisoner. They have the ability to get up and go walk away. Give them a little bit. Just give them the illusion that they're not a slave, and they will go. If you know somebody's hurting on the streets or somebody's in a place of pain and I'm a predator, I know that I can come in and I can play on the emotions of this individual. I'm going to pretend that I'm an angel of light. I'm going to pretend I'm on their side. And then when I'm able to get in close, I'm going to do whatever evil I'm about to do to them. This is how predatory people think in general. That's just simply what it is. And with that being said, in general, with the devil, what he does is he perverts everything that God creates. Literally everything that God creates, the devil perverts it. He perverts literally everything. He changes its meaning. He switches it. And they do that stuff on purpose. They are incrementally, systematically, continuously removing God out the picture. And people be thinking like, what are you talking about? They're moving God and Jesus up out the picture. And people are like, man, what are you talking about? They don't remove that. Do you see all these churches? No, those churches are not actually for God. Those, I'm telling you, a lot of these places are not actually there for God. They're worshiping a different God. Just like I said before, there's a left-handed interpretation of things, and then there's a right-handed interpretation. Like when you think about the serpent in the biblical text and stuff like that, how the serpent on one side was considered to be evil because of what he did to trick Eve. You understand? But on the other side, Jesus said, you got to be as wise as a serpent, but as harmless as a dove. Wisdom and then trickery. You see those two dichotomy between these two? And the same thing, it works for literally everything else. But the devil, what he does is he doesn't outright just lie to you. What he has to do is he has to make suggestions. He just got to open things up. He works in the gray, the idiosyncratic differences. He does not work in the black and white. And that's so important because oftentimes, because he works in the gray, most people cannot see the gray. They see black and then they see white. They don't see the gray. That's why the devil has his greatest power. It's the illusions that he can create. And in the same vein, what they have done now is they've hijacked morality to implement any program that they want to, implement all these causes, and to beat people down into submission that go against their causes under the guise of morality. You understand the game? And this is extremely important. Why is this so important? It's because no one can fight against morality. When people set up their systems and they set it up as if they have a higher moral ground, or they're hiding in such a way where they're hiding behind certain causes. Let's say, for example, somebody got killed. What a manipulative, opportunistic person would do is they will want their own agendas to be pushed in general. And what they would do is they'll go run and hide behind this situation where somebody was killed, knowing that people are in an emotional state, knowing how they can get at people's emotions through saying certain words or this or this. Like you see this in the black community a lot. When somebody get killed in the black community, you have opportunistic people that will come up forth, and now they spitting that pimp game on everybody, and everybody is buying into it because they're in an emotional fog. They don't see the damn wolf on the stage hitting his sheep clothing. You understand what I'm saying? Like they don't see it. Therefore, they're not seeing the programs that are being brought in. What the elites do is, on one end, they come and they have to disrupt society with any form of chaos. They need to do these things. You know why chaos is so important? Chaos and confusion. They intentionally implement chaos and confusion, but they do it under the guise of morality. What they do is they create things, or they create systems that they know what the byproduct is going to be in the system. You understand? They have to do these things because this is what creates disorder. This is what creates disruption. They have to remove foundations, family systems, and things of that nature. They have to incrementally pull this away from the people. And they're only able to do it when the country is in a state of chaos. When you look back in America in general, just in America, but like you look back in America, oftentimes the greatest social reforms, the way that they were able to bring into these new social movements and things of that nature, it had to come at the cost of chaos. In general, when people are in a state of peace, when there's nothing bad happening, people do not like change. Most people don't. They don't like change. They like things to stay the same. That's what they like. That's why oftentimes when the elites or people in positions of power want to bring in things that's going to ultimately benefit them, they cannot just go to the public and tell them that this is what we're going to do. Why? It's because the people's going to revolt. They don't want a situation like France where they come in and cut the damn king's head off again. They don't want anything like that. So they have to do it in a sneaky way. Again, it's easier to catch bees with honey than it is with vinegar. It's easier to be sweet. When you sweet with people and you telling them something nice, you come to them disguised as an angel of light, they're much more receptive, or they'll be much more susceptible to buy into your bull, to buy into what you want them to do. You can trick them, manipulate them, especially they're in an emotional state. This is why they plaster black dudes getting killed on the TV all over the place. This is why they keep on saying, oh, these people over here are being harmed. These people over here are being, there's some type of injustice. And yes, that might be going on, but these people don't do it for genuine reasons. They're not doing it because they truly care, like they're trying to proclaim it. What they are doing is they're trying to infuse chaos and confusion. That's what they're doing. And they're working at it through people's emotions. They have to get to people's emotions. They be showing all these black dudes getting killed. You think that this is the first time that these black dudes getting killed? No. Why is it that they keep on picking up the story of black dudes getting killed and putting it down, picking it up, putting it down? Decade after decade, they have a repetitive pattern where it seems as though that the American conscience, they are very aware, and they're now trying to actively do something against the violence against black people, or whatever the case may be, or whatever situation is going on in the black community. And then out of nowhere, they drop it. There was a peak. There was a situation that happened and it was plastered all over the place. Like, again, like you could think of an example like Emmett Till, civil rights, Birmingham, all those things. This is at least with the black. You look all the way back in the day with slavery. What you do is you plaster that stuff all over the place. And it's not even for the black Americans, it's for the white Americans. That's who it's for. Because white Americans, if you don't get them on train, you don't get them on board, they are the middle class for the most part. It's not to say that blacks and Asians and all these other races are not. The whites are the overwhelming majority middle class, at least in this country. So they need to get these individuals onto board. How do you get them on board? If people are in a state of peace, when traditions and cultures, nobody wants to change. Typically, change only comes when pain comes. Change only comes when some type of chaos occurs. Therefore, this is why they have to plaster that stuff that's going on in all these places. And it's truthfully these elites that are in, they're the ones that's instigating everything. They're setting up problems, they're setting up programs, and they're setting up systems that are doomed to fail. And then once it fails and the desired outcome and the desired product occurs based off of the elite's hands and their manipulation of society, they then run around onto the other side and fly in like they're Superman with their red capes and boots, acting like they're about to save everybody, when they were the very ones that was setting up these programs and these situations for people to be victimized in the very first place. But you see how they play that game, because now they understand that people are in an emotional state. And with people being in an emotional state, that now they can come around and act like morality is the biggest thing. And now they're going to come in and do the moral thing, which is a bunch of malarkey. They see that people are in a position of pain and they will pimp people's pain. So if they see a black people that have been disenfranchised or whatever the case may be, and they're in an emotional state, a person that's manipulative and they want to come in and get their own agendas, they will set up things so that the black community are going are in the place of pain already. They know what triggers, they know what the hell is bothering the black people, because they were the one that set it up in the very first place. Now they were going to come on the other side and now try to give something to the black people, and a lot of black people, they're going to fall hook, line, and sinker, because they can't see that the damn wolf. They don't see the damn wolf in the sheep's clothing, because the sheep, the elites or whoever the hell it is going to come forth and act like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to help you. Don't you see all these problems that's going on? I'm just trying to help you. When these bastards was the ones that set it up in the very first place. You see the game? Now they have morality to work from. Now they have morality, and then they give the people who are in the most pain the weapon of morality. Why is this so important? With the weapon of morality, you can now slice down and cut down anybody that's going to go against, and they can see through the bull that these elites be doing. They can see right through it. But a lot of people, if they're in an emotional state, again, this is why I say they care about your emotions. It's not because they actually truly care. They care about your emotions in this sense. They can pimp them. They can now play off of people's emotions. The ones who are in the most pain, they're going to utilize these individuals as pawns in their morality movement, in the army of their morality movement. It's a Trojan horse mechanism that these people are conducting, and they're doing a very good job at it. And a lot of people, because they are in an emotional state, they do not see the forest through the trees. They do not see the damn bit bag wolf. They cannot see the damn devil in the idiosyncratic differences. They don't see him. They don't see the gray. They only see black and they see white. Now, for individuals who come up against these new programs, that come up against the elite and the moral mob, because they can see through all the stuff that these people are doing, when they speak out, they're going to get cut down through morality. Now it's completely okay. It's not discriminatory. No, most people don't see nothing that's wrong to cancel people and cut them out. The very individuals are talking about how they want everybody else to be tolerable when somebody's saying things that these people that hurts their feelings. The elites allow the moral mob and the individuals that's been in the most pain, they give them people the power of morality. Now, and when somebody is triggered, now when somebody feels like you're saying something that is offensive, now when you're doing certain type of things that are right and that are, that are not wrong, what the moral mob will be able to do is come in and cut you down legally. They're able to shut you down legally. When you say certain type of things, what people will say is you're spreading hate speech. Why is that hate speech so important? Well, the reason why the hate speech is so important is because it's not, when somebody's speaking hate speech, it's not covered under the First Amendment. You cannot, no. When hate speech comes in, you no longer have the First Amendment. Like, that's not covered in the Constitution. You cannot go out there and do hate speech. Therefore, that's why when you're saying certain things, the moral mob and the elites, what they would, again, they use the weapon of morality. They say that you're saying hate speech against groups of people when you speak out against what's going on. They're saying you're saying hate speech. If you're a white man, you're a racist. You're a racist for what you're saying. If you're a man, you're a sexist, you're a misogynist. If you're somebody who is straight or whatever the case may be, oh, you're against these, you have this phobia. you're homophobic, you're transphobic, you're all these phobias, and then they beat you down in submission. This is why, and then other people, they're in the emotional state, so they're going to go onto the side of the individuals that are considered to be the disenfranchised group or whatever the kind. They're going to go on that individual side and say, oh no, yeah, no, we stand with these individuals. These people are in pain. They're in pain. How often when you're in pain and you're emotional, do you make good decisions? And I'm not trying to go against these people in a way where I'm trying to speak down on these people, but these people are clearly confused. How often do you actually make good decisions when you're in that state? How many times in your life did you make those decisions? Do you look back, you're like, dang man, what the heck did I do? Why did I do that? You were regretful the mistakes and the decisions that you made when you were in an emotional state. So why would the elites give these individuals the most power in the country? Well, the reason being is because they got an agenda going. Now they can shut people up. Now they can use the word ist, phobic, or whatever whatever these people got in their repertoire to shut people down, to cancel them, to shut them up. Right before our eyes, these people are taking away the truth. They're taking away the First Amendment. They're taking away the truth right in front of people's eyes, and nobody sees it. They're taking it away under the guise of morality. You see the game? This is what I'm talking about, how the devil does not operate in black or white. There is a dichotomy. There is a right-handed interpretation and a left-handed. The right-handed interpretation is what God will want. The real, true, natural way of things are, the real morality. But the way that the devil perverts everything, he has the perverted side. And he has what is going on now, where people are using morality in a manipulative, a destructive way. And they give the power to those who are in the most pain. How often do you really give people who are in the pain? When the crime is committed, you do not, as a prosecutor or whatever case, we as a society, when somebody is a victim of a crime or whatever the situation is, that individual is never the one that's handing out the punishment or on trial or whatever the case may be with the person. Even in the medical field, it's not, you cannot sit there and operate on somebody that you have some type of attachment to. The reason being is because they understand the emotional component to it. They understand the emotions and how oftentimes you're going to make bad decisions when you're in an emotional state. You're more likely to kill somebody when somebody is slighted and they're a victim of somebody else. Though we can consider it to be a petty offense, some people, they're willing to put that person in the electric chair, strap it up, turn it on, and send it to God. That's what some people's mentality is. You stole $5 for somebody and they're ready to kill you. That's what they want. That's the justice that they want. You got to be put to death for the $5 that you just stole from them. But when they're in the same place and they stole $2,000, they don't want to die for their crimes. You see? But when you're in an emotional state, you're not thinking like that. You're in these two extremes. That's why there's always a third party that gives the punishment. This is why you know that the elites have something going on. They know because they're putting the people that are in the most pain in the positions of power. And again, the elites were the ones that caused the pain in the very first place. And now they're turning around and they're going to get the very same individuals that they have put in the position of pain. They're going to hide behind them and they're going to work behind them. Now, if anybody comes against these individuals, you are going to be shamed to death. You're going to be canceled, and it's going to be legally, you're able to legally discriminate, to cut people out, to cancel them. And it's like, it's complete and utter hypocrisy on a whole nother level. People use injustice as a way to say that we're going to use injustice to serve justice. What? Yeah, we're going to use injustice to serve justice. There's a lot of times I hear people, they're talking about like they're in groups and things of that nature. Oh, we need, like I've had this on my college campus. I never quite really truly understood this. There's a whole bunch of multicultural groups on campus that are there specifically for different racial groups. And I've seen this video, it was a while back, but there was a white boy all the way back in the South. He wanted to start a white student union. People were so adamantly against that. There was on the news and everything like that. There was protests and everything. People did not know that's racist. That's racist. That's racist. And the dude was like, how is that racist? If everybody else got a student union, why is it that we don't? Why don't we have one? And people were like, well, the student union is just that's yours. We need something for ourselves. No, what? How the hell are you going to talk about that you want equality, but when equality is right here, you're discriminating, you're using injustice as a way to say this is justice. What? If it's truly equality, why the hell can the white students not have a student union? If anything, what it's saying is you're differentiating yourself as different and that you don't belong in a certain way. And what I mean by that is if you're talking about that there's just the student union is for white people and you have to add these modifiers to all these other groups, what does that means? That these people are the originators. In a way, it's like these people are, they're the first ones. And it's like we are just nothing but subsidiaries. We're putting ourselves in this marginalized category. We are demoting ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? We are demoting ourselves. If this is true equality and you truly believe in these things, why the hell can the white people not have a student union too? Oh, it's because the regular student union is the no. That's a bunch of BS. You talking about? You see what I'm talking about? They use unjust ways as a way to say justice, and people who are the beneficiary of the whatever benefits that they're getting from this unjust ways, they don't care. They be like, okay, well, these people they've been enslaving people. They've been doing this for so long. Do you not understand what's coming down the road? The elites is going to take that weapon of morality and use it right back on people. They're going to take it from you and use it right back on you when the time comes. And what they're going to do is they're going to use the same justifications that they said all the way back then, way back when with the white boys. They're going to use the same justification, meaning that, oh, well, you as these multicultural people, you've been in power for so long and you've been straightening against these white people for so long now, we're going to take it right back from you. This is injustice. This injustice. You see the game is going on. How the hell are anybody else? How the hell are we in any difference from them when we do the exact same tactics? But we saying, oh, what? Because we put morality on it. We put morality on it. In the same vein that people will sit there and talk about them white boys all the way back when in the South, when they call black people the N-word, they use all these other racial discrimination practices and things of that nature. And they use all these racial derogatory terms to shame and manipulate and to put people back in a place. They do that nowadays. But all right now, it has some type of ist, phobic, or whatever else on the back of it. In the past, it was just the ER. Now it's the ist. It's the phobia. That you're a misogynist, you're a sexist, you're a racist, you're you're a homophobic, you're a transphobic, you're a thisophobic, you're that. What? What? But yes, this is what they got going on. And again, there's an interpretation. There's a right-handed interpretation and a left-handed. And we get back to this conversation about kindness. Kindness. There's a left-handed interpretation of kindness and then a right-handed. The right-handed is how God set it up to be, something that is genuine, something that is pure. But how the devil perverted it and how these people of this world are perverting it, they want you to have this toxic kindness. In a way, they want you to be extremely fake. They want you to be fake. Like they want these white people or whatever. If a white person don't like a black person and they say, I don't like a black person, oh, you're racist, you're this, you're that. Okay, if that person don't like black people, even if that is a racist, why is it wrong for him to, whatever the case may be? I'm not saying that you should go out there and advocate like those things, but it's like you want him to be fake. You want him to run up in here and be real fake with everybody and tell you something that he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like why are we so adamant about people falling into line and to say things and do things that we want them to be? Because this is the moral way of doing things. What? Who says that this is the moral way of doing things? God? We're using injustice. We're using unjust ways to say, oh, this is justice. We're getting justice from injustice. Didn't everybody's favorite person, Mr. Martin Luther King Jr., didn't he not say injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere? How is it we just keep on rolling over that portion of it? How is this? How is it justified that we use injustice to claim that this is now we're going to get justice? We're going to get justice from injustice. What? 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 But I'm telling you, this is what's going on. But truthfully, what they do want is not true kindness that these people want you to use. They want you to be fake in a lot of ways. They want you to be fake. And ultimately, again, with the concept of kindness, when people of the world, you got to sometimes look at life in these concepts, these terms and things of that nature from the manipulator's point of view. Because most people, they'll be looking at kindness from their own personal point of view. They'll be looking at it from the point of view that they think that God will want the most, but they're not looking at it from the other individual's reason for using kindness. They never care about that. They're not looking at life and that's why I think a lot of times we get caught up. It's because we're looking at life purely from our own perspective. People in general, what we do is do something called projections, meaning whoever we are and how we look at the world, we assume everybody else is the same way. Therefore, when people are saying something that might be contrary to what you believe, it's very hard for a lot of people to really understand it because they're like, dude, do you not understand how life is? Life is this way. Life, yeah, life is that way for you. For you, that's how you look at it. You got to sometimes look at it from the other person's point of view. And when you're looking at this, about this idea of kindness, again, if you have a manipulative, exploitative person, they don't look at kindness in a way where, oh man, this is amazing. God has blessed me tremendously by giving me this extremely kind person. Oh my God, I'm going to do right by them. I'm going to cherish them. I'm going to give them all the greatest things in the world because this person is kind and God has sent this. No, a lot of people don't even believe in God. They only believe in their damn self. They worship their damn self. We have a culture that does nothing more but worship their damn self nowadays. That's what they have. And so they're not looking at the person or the situation or wherever the situation is. They're not looking at it as like, oh my God, this is a blessing from God. They say that this is a mark right here in front of my face. This is a lick. I'm about to get over on this person as much as I possibly can. I'm going to terrorize this person. I'm going to try to run all up over this person. I'm trying to get whatever I can out of this person and dog them out as much as I possibly can. That is what people's who are especially predatory people, that's their mentality. And then for the most part, people in general, whether or not they're even remotely trying to do it and they're conscious of it, when somebody is kind, sometimes we don't realize that we start to, in a way, think that we can get over on that person. Because we thinking that this person won't push back. There'll be no type of pushback because this person is kind. This person is kind. So I can do whatever and this person won't come at me in the same way that the rest of the world will. So this person is kind. And I think that everybody does it to a certain degree, whether or not we are conscious of it. But this is the way that these elites and that damn devil use kindness. They look at it in an exploitative way. They're looking at it as a way that I can get my agenda done. I can use this as another manipulative ploy to get in and to work into the American fabric, at least in America, but I can get into the global consciousness and rip things open because I can use kindness as a way to do things and to shut people up in a whole nother way. Because kindness is a part of morality. Kindness is a part of morality. And who is going to sit there and say, oh, no, you shouldn't be kind. Oh, that's bad to be kind. Most people say, yeah, no, be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind. But everybody don't look at kindness in the very same way. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people who are actively out there looking at kind people as marks, as licks. They want to run up, they're going to try to run up all over that person. They don't see kindness in the way that God sees it. They see it as an exploitative method to get their will done. In the same vein, that's how the society uses that kindness. It's a toxic, calculated kindness. It's not true kindness. It's not genuine. They want you to be fake in a lot of ways. They want you to accept everything, not say anything. Oh, there's a saying something like this. Like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And again, I think that people in general, I think that they mix kindness and nice together. That's what I think in general. I think that people think that nice and kind are the same terms, and they're not. They're not. Oftentimes, when you're being nice, you can be kind and not necessarily nice to people. You can be very kind to people, but not nice to them. You know what I'm saying? Or in the same way, it could be the opposite, because like people could be fake, like they can have a fake kindness to them, but they're not necessarily nice to a person. Does that kind of make sense? But or here's the other thing: you can be nice and not kind to a person. You can give something, because I think about nice, you give it something that you don't necessarily need to do. It's an action that you need to do that you don't have to do. That's why I think when I'm thinking about nice. You know what I'm saying? People, they will play off of your niceness, and your kindness I think is a little bit different, because you don't necessarily need to do anything when you're kind to people and things of that nature. It's not necessarily an active thing that you need to do. But in general, what happens is what they do is they use kindness in this manner. They use kindness as a way to, again, hide their agendas so that people will not speak. It's another way of shutting people up. It's another way of shutting people down so that people don't speak. Oh, if you're saying something, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So oftentimes, again, people, I think they intertwine kindness and niceness. So just roll me right here. Oh, if you don't have anything kind to say, then don't say nothing at all. If you don't have anything kind to say, don't say nothing at all. And so oftentimes what people will think is, oh, if there's a problem coming up, if these people are bringing in new reforms or something is happening that you do not agree with, that's going against your inner self, you're thinking in your head, oh, that's not kind for me to say something. Because oftentimes, again, what these elites will do is saying, oh, you're not a moral person if you don't believe what I believe. Oh, you're an evil person if you don't do what I say. Oh, you're an evil person. And this is what they give the people of who are in the place of pain, the moral mob, the ones that they give the power of the weapon of morality to. That's what they're going to do to you. They're going to manipulate you, even whether or not they even know it. They're going to sit there and say, oh, if you don't believe what I believe, then that means that you're evil. If you don't do what I do, that means that you're unkind. Like they say, oh, if you don't say people's pronouns, then that means that you're being disrespectful to a person that wants you to say their pronouns. Not even looking at the situation, not realizing that there's a two-way street to this. Do you not understand that it's disrespectful to me as an individual for you to want me to sit there and say these pronouns and do all this mess when I don't believe in it? I don't think that it's okay to do. I don't think that it's respectful to my, like, it's like people talking about like, oh, you need to show respect to other people. It's not being respectful to myself for you to sit here and expect me to just play into whatever you want me to play into. I'm not going to do that. It's not true. It's not reality. And you cannot make me sit here and do whatever you want me to do and then shame me into doing whatever you want me to do. Because I don't do what you say, I'm an evil person. Because I don't do what you say, I'm not a kind person. Because I don't do what you say and capitulate to your will, that means I'm hateful of people. Because I speak out against what's going on, that means that I'm hateful of people. No, absolutely not. God's not hateful of people either. Like, what are these people talking about? This has nothing to do with hate. It has everything to do with right and wrong. What are you talking about? But that's how these people will murky up the water for you if you're not careful. God himself is kind, but he doesn't accept everything. What they want you to do when they say kindness, oh, accept everybody. Everybody can be anything. Absolutely not. That's not right. God doesn't even, but they use God. I'm telling you, what they do is they use God. They play on people. They use God and morality against people all the time. It's not true. It's not genuine, but they understand it's a manipulative tool to get people to do what they want. When you bring God into the situation, it's almost like they're saying, if you don't do what I tell you to do, that means that you don't believe in God. If you don't do what I tell you to do, that means that you hate God. You're a God hater. If you don't do what I told you to do, you're all these negative things in the world. If you're not kind in the way that I tell you you need to be kind, that means you're evil. You see the game that they play? You see the game that they play? Why is this so important? It's because they shut people up even more. People now are in a state where they know something is wrong. They see something that is wrong. And because they know, they're thinking in their head, oh, if I say this, then that's not kind. Oh, if I don't say I agree with this. Like they push, like again, like you got the bathroom situations that they be having on. It's unkind to say, no, I don't know. We should have separate bathrooms or whatever the case may be. Or if you're not this gender, you shouldn't be going to other people's genders. Other people's gender specific bathrooms. No, that's not okay. You're not kind for that. You're evil. You're sexist. You're homophobic. You're a racist. You're all these things because you don't bow down and capitulate to what they want you to do. You're not kind. You're an enemy. You're the devil in the flesh. You see the game? You see the game that I'm playing? The game that they play? Because you don't bow down and capitulate, that means you're not kind. They want kindness to mean you shut up. You be the pushover. You don't say nothing. It's unwise. They're shutting up the truth. They're stealing the truth right before people's eyes. And people simply don't see it. So many people don't see what these people are doing. People are under a mass delusion. And because they use God, they use love. They use kindness. The devil perverts all these things. They're not really love. They're not real kindness. They're not none of these things. It's a manipulative way that they're trying to get you to shut the hell up. They don't want you to say things. They want you to accept everything and everybody. Oh, this is what God would do. That's a damn lie. God will reject the behavior. He rejects the sin. There's a lot of sin and ain't nobody perfect. I'm over here preaching saying like, oh, I'm perfect and I'm better. No, everybody sins. There's a difference between right and wrong. And God sets up that reality. And this is why people oftentimes they reject God, say there's no God. The reason why they will reject God and say that there's no God, it's not necessarily because these people don't even really believe in God. It's because they don't want nobody, they don't want no power, no authority over them. They want to be the say so. They want to be able to do whatever they want and be not accountable for what they're doing. That's why people detest and hate God so much. It's because he's an authority figure and he's telling people what is right and what is wrong. And people want to do what the hell they want to do. And oftentimes it could be going against what God has already told people to do. And so people will hate him and they will reject him because they feel like he rejects them. And no, he rejects the sin, not the vessel. He rejects the sin, not the vessel. When you saying something that is truthful and you're going against things that you do not believe is true or like that is not right with reality, right? And again, I'm not even over here talking about, oh, I know all the answers to God. I'm not saying that. I'm not even trying to, snatch that power away from them and say, oh yeah, I know what God would want. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that these people, they use it in a manipulative way. And I know what they're doing is not from God. It's not. I know without a shadow of a doubt because it's manipulative. It's deceitful what these people are doing. They're trying to sneak in everything that they want to and change society into nothing but pure utter chaos and confusion. And then when you get up and you say something, they use the weapon of morality, and the people that are in the most pain, and they're confused the most, they're going to send them after you, and they are able to legally cancel you. They're legally able to snatch the truth out of everybody's tongue. Then they're subjugating everybody to this toxic kindness, trying to get people in their emotions, make them feel bad. Again, you have to understand the importance of why these people show you images of black dudes getting shot down on the street. You got to understand the importance of why they keep on talking about these stories about how women are in these abusive cycles and things of that nature. And it's not to say that these things are not true, but they're not bringing the other balanced side to it. There's two sides to the coin. There's two sides to the story, but one is always told for a reason, on purpose. It's intentional. They understand that if they're able to continue to keep on doing this, look at the antipathy and the destruction between men and women nowadays. Look at how bad and corrosive it is. We are at a point in this world where confusion has gotten to the point where people who are grown ass adults are sitting there and they're asking the question of what is a woman? This is how we have failed so deep down. People are confused, depressed, and all over the place. We're allowing the people that are in the most pain to steer the damn ship at the behest of the elites. The elites are actually truly steering the ship, but they understand that they're able to coax other people and to make people feel bad if they speak out. Because again, this is why they show you images of black people getting killed. This is why they show you all these images of abuse against women. This is why they show you all this violence against these individuals who are in these different communities. Even if it's true, they might over exaggerate it, or they heavily and disingenuously, they're extremely disingenuous because they will never show you the opposite side. They will talk about how a couple of people in certain groups have been discriminated against. They don't talk about the hundreds of thousands that are in these other groups that are discriminated against. But they want to make you think that it's just these people up over here. They're allowing a small portion of people who are in the most pain, that are the most confused. They want those individuals in a position of power. And I ain't trying to be a dick. And I'm not trying to sit on here and speak down on anything, but the natural way of things that God set it up to be is the man and the woman second. That's how he set it up to be. Because the man will think in logical ways. He will think much more logically. Women will tend to use their emotions more. And again, just like I said before, the reason why this could be deleterious is because of when you're in your emotional state, how often do you make decisions that are the best when you're in an emotional state? This is why they have changed emotions so much, and they want women in a position of power. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to women, but this is why they want that. They understand that they can control women. They understand that, and they can control them through their emotions. Women typically, they don't say things that are completely honest. They will typically lie to people or heavily put sugar on something because they don't want to hurt other people's feelings. They don't want to hurt. And I'm not saying that there's not a time and there's not a place for that. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm not saying that there's not valuable. I'm saying that they're going to use that 100% of the time. What are we doing? We can't do that 100% of the time. They're saying they're getting you to think like, oh, if you say this or you say that, that's not kind to people. Yes, it is. Like, kindness does not mean that I can't say stuff or whatever the case may be. Kindness does not mean that, like, when the truth is spoken, you can be kind and still speak the truth. People are going to be offended. People are going to hate you. People don't want to be with you. People want to go against you when you say something that is truthful. That is the truth. People hate and reject the truth because it's all, again, the truth is a representation of God. It's a representation of reality. They want to reject that and live in their own delusional land. They don't want God to exist, because if God exists, that will put a lot of restrictions on them, or the God that they don't want. Again, what they do nowadays is they don't take the true God. They don't have the real Jesus. They don't have, no. They have a different paganized form of them. Semiramis, Tammuz, and Nimrod, these three individuals, the Mother, the Father, and the Holy Son, the three Trinity of the world. This is what the world's view is. And I know some people don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you go into the churches, you're not worshiping God, you're worshiping Tammuz half of the time. You don't know what I'm talking about? You got to look it up for yourself sometime. Tammuz. You know why? I never understood another thing. Is like, why do they celebrate women so much? Why is it that women need so much praise? Again, this is in no way, shape, or form a knock against women. When I'm saying what I'm saying it from the perspective of why is it so much? Yes, you should honor your mother, your father, and you should honor your mother and see the value in women and things of that nature. We have pushed it overdrive. I grew up in the community, in the black community, where they literally worship mama. They worship the woman. Why are we worshiping? Like, why? And then when your daddy come up in the conversation, people will be uber disrespectful about your father. But you ain't disrespect. But why are you not having that same energy? Why is it that you hold your father accountable for all the sins, but the mother gets to get away scot-free? With her is an excuse. But with your father, there's no excuse. Why? Why is it like this? Even when the father is there, the father is trying to get you to push up the mother as much as possible. And again, there's a time, there's a place, there's a balance to everything. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be doing these things, but the way that they're doing it, they're doing overdrive. It's like they took away the power from the father, and then they added that power to the mother, and she became a demigod. Why is that? Why is that? Well, the reason being is because they are reincarnating Semiramis, the true goddess of this world, the mother goddess. You're not worshiping Jesus. You're not worshiping God in a lot of these places. These people are not talking about God. They're talking about Semiramis, Tammuz, and Nimrod. They're talking about somebody completely different. I'm telling you, again, the devil does not work in black and white. He works in the gray. Most people can't see the grave. I mean, they can't see the grave. They can't see the gray. And that's why they fall hook, line, and sinker. Just like what I'm talking about with kindness and morality, they took the stories in the Bible and the biblical texts and things of that nature, and they're truly worshiping something behind the scenes. It's not God. It's something completely different. This is why the world has become so demoralized in the way that it has. Isn't it crazy? We got every church on every block, but everybody's so damn demoralized and spiritually dead. How is that? How is that? How are so many people spiritually dead? How are so many people like really out of here? But we got all these churches, all this place. The Bible, there's so many Christians, there's so many Muslims, there's so many Jews, there's so many, all these things, but people are so damn demoralized. Why is that? It's because we're never worshiping God. We were never worshiping God. You go in some of these churches, they are blatantly in opposition to what God says in the biblical text right there in their face. They're blatantly against it. People make idols and worship idols all the time. I've seen people praying to Saint Mary. They're praying to Mary. Why are people praying to Mary? Why? Then they got baby Jesus and Mary. That's not baby Jesus and that's not Mary. That is Semiramis and Tammuz. That is somebody else. But they telling you that that's Jesus and Mary, and it's not. It's not. These people, I'm telling you, there's a left-handed interpretation of everything you see, and then a right-handed interpretation. The left hand is the damn devil, the lies, the schemes, the trickery, the buffoonery. And most people, they fall hook, line, and sinker because on the surface, it looks like it's from God. On the surface, it looks like it's moral. On the surface. But when you really dig deep into it, it's nothing but. This is what they talking about when they say that the world is under a mass delusion. It's because people, they don't understand these things. And it's not to knock people. It's not to take people down. It's not to say that people are in any way, shape, or form bad or negative or whatever the case may be. I'm just saying that this is the reality of the situation. It's just the reality. I'm telling you, when people are talking about kindness and they're telling you, oh, be kind, they truthfully do not actually genuinely mean be genuinely kind. What they're saying is be a pushover. What they're saying is let anybody do whatever they want to do. Just come on bringing it in. God loves everybody. He does love he loves the vessel. He doesn't love the sin. He loves the vessels, not the sin. But people are now using this new age philosophy about God and Jesus and things of that nature. They're using this, oh yeah, everybody's accepted and everybody can come on it. No, God specifically tells you that everybody's not going to get into the damn gates of heaven. Everybody's not going to get in. A lot of people are under a mass delusion. This is why they also talk about a narrow road, that most people, they're going down the broad road. How is it that we have all these people that are in the faith, that are religious, there's the Christians, this and this and this, but God is talking about there's a broad road and then a narrow road. Why is that? A narrow road means that not that many people, but yet we have billions in these. It's because they're not worshiping God. They're not worshiping the true living God, the Israelite God. You know what I mean? Like, they're not talking about the God of Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac. They're not talking about that God. They're not talking about the God of Jesus, the true Jesus. They're not talking about them. They're talking about Semiramis, Tammuz, and Nimrod. That's who they're talking about. Somebody completely different. It's paganism. It's paganism at its finest, but they're able to hide. They're able to hide that morality aspect. When people saying that you're not doing what, again, when they say kindness, they mean the left-handed understanding of what kindness is. Be a pushover, be a doormat, allow anything in and shut your damn mouth. That's what they mean when they say be kind. The left-handed, they mean that's when people say you take my kindness for weakness. People take my kindness for weakness. Manipulative, exploitive people. They are the ones taking your kindness for weakness. This is exactly why they want to give it to you in the very first place. And with that being said, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.